Hello everybody, it's Philly Kuts with another Hump Day haul. It's not Wednesday, it's Thursday, and I've missed uploading my first Hump Day haul, number 35, on the day of comic book release day. And I'm sorry, I apologize. Something came up in my life, and I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. And also, my allergies have been acting up through the roof. I mean, I probably look like Johnny Blaze right now, but I assure you that I am not smoking anything. It's just my eyes get all itchy, my nose gets all stuffed. I'm using Flonase nasal spray. I'm using drops. I'm using, Claritin. And sometimes those allergies just penetrate through, man. It's like Superman with kryptonite with me this month. May is the worst. Alright, so I got a stack of comics, as always, and I just show you the comics to talk about. No big whoop. First comics from Dark Horse Comics. We're starting out with an independent, Harrow County, and I was really looking forward to this. Look at that ringing endorsement from Mike Mignola on the front. A rare thing, both wonderfully charming and genuinely disturbing. Quite an endorsement from Mike Mignola. This is a horror book. This is Cullen Bunn, the writer, who I love for his work on Sinestro and also on Vertigo's Wolf Moon, which I've really enjoyed. And the artwork of Tyler Crook, which is absolutely amazing. He does like a lot of watercolors in this, and it just looks phenomenal. Let me show you some of the artwork in here. I love it. I like this oak tree, which actually is very significant. But look at that. See how it says Harrow County? Again, my webcam doesn't do it justice. But that's a big scarred oak tree. This story kind of reminds me a little bit of Wytches, although a lot more easy to follow. It starts out with the town getting together collectively. Seems like it's in like the 1800s or something, maybe late 1800s, I don't know, 1890s maybe. Actually, it looks like it takes place in 1920s. All right, so I'm bad with that. But it starts out where they round up this witch, and for crimes that she's committed, they end up hanging her. Look at that. Noose around the neck. She's dead, lifeless. She ends up talking to them while being hung, and they end up setting her ablaze on fire. And that's her corpse with the flesh melting off of it. And she curses them. She curses the townspeople. She says, "I will be back for you. I'm going to be coming back." Truly chilling. They also use a third-person omniscient narration style in this book, which you don't really see a lot, which is very effective, and I really enjoyed it. There's a girl, the main character is Emma, and it alludes to lots of references that she kind of has a connection with this tree. Actually, where she lives, she could see the oak tree. Now, that reminds me a lot of Wytches, because right in Wytches, the witches come out of trees called burrows, right? They live in these trees, you get pledged. The witches come out, they take you, they pull you back into the burrow. I'm not sure what's going to happen with this story, what they're going to do with that, but it's very compelling. I really love the artwork. I love the facial expressions that Tyler Crook gives some of these characters. I mean, they're kind of like creepy looking. Look at her. Look at Emma. Her father doesn't want her to go out in the woods. Like, he kind of, like, the father kind of knows something's up and always tells Emma, you know, don't stray too far in the woods. But I highly recommend this. This is going to be a great book. I really enjoyed it, and I think that you guys would too. If you like horror, if you're into horror, definitely check this out. It's probably my pick of the week. That's why I led with this, and it didn't disappoint. And the one thing is, it doesn't have all those goddamn color splotches like they do in Wytches, which nobody can seem to explain to me what the hell that is yet. What is up with the color splotches in Wytches? Right? What is up with it? I don't even know. All right. Secret Wars #2. I got the variant cover. This issue kind of explains what the battle world is more. I guess you got, what, the Marvel Universe and then the Ultimate Marvel Universe clashing together. It's going to change the whole Marvel landscape. I don't know, at least in this universe. You got Doctor Doom in here. You got Thor. I mean, you got so many clutch key characters in here. You got Thanos. The artwork looks great. I really enjoy it. Really, really cool artwork. And I'm going to be completely honest with you folks, I didn't read #1 yet. I didn't read #1 yet, so I still am waiting on the verdict of this. I'm going to have to read issue 1 and 2 because these are $5 a pop. They're oversized issues. The first issue actually had a really nice, like, harder cover. This is back to regular standard, you know, Marvel chintzy covers. So, you know, at that price, $5 a pop, I really got to make a decision here because I think that this goes for 8 issues, so $40 investment might be a little steep for me. So I'm going to read these next 2 issues over this next week and then decide. If anybody's reading Battle or Secret Wars, let me know, all right? Second Marvel title I got this week is Darth Vader #5, which is quickly becoming my favorite Marvel Star Wars series. You also have Star Wars, Darth Vader, and then the miniseries Princess Leia. And then they have another one associated with Star Wars Rebels or something, which I don't even count. In this, Darth Vader kind of finds a secret base that the Emperor has, and I guess the Emperor's been hiding out on, and it's on the back of some giant space whale. Check that out, man. Check that out. The black water of outer space, people. Shamu. Times 1,000, folks. Very, very weird. And they also introduced some new characters in here. You still have Darth Vader with his death bots. Remember, you have C-3PO and the R2-D2 counterpart, but they're like assassins. There they are there. It's triple zero. And I forget what the little guy's name is, but 000 is a real bastard, man. He likes to kill. He loves to kill. Imagine a psychopathic C-3PO, you know? Same mannerisms and everything. You know, he's the protocol droid. And also, they introduced kind of a team. I don't know where they're going with this. Like the X-Men, maybe, of Star Wars? I don't know. That's like Admiral Akbar race guy back there. That looks like Tebow. I remember in Empire Strikes Back, they briefly showed one of him with Boba Fett when Darth Vader recruited the bounty hunters to round up Han Solo. So, lots of interesting things in here. I don't want to spoil too much, but I'm really enjoying Darth Vader. Darth Vader kind of continues to be on the shit list of the Emperor, and it's interesting to see Darth Vader kind of fighting for his life here. So I highly recommend it. The artwork by, oh my lord, the artwork by Salvador Larroca is awesome. I think it's actually the best in the series. Darth Vader just looks great. And all the familiar things associated with Star Wars just look absolutely great. There's Darth Vader. A little mixing of the old with the new there. Darth Vader. Darth Vader. Alright, peeps. Alright, DC. I got a couple titles from DC. I got Arkham Knight #4. In this issue, they kind of explore how how Batman scores his new Batmobile. I guess there's a new Batmobile in this. This is the prequel to the Arkham Knight video game, which I also want to talk about briefly. Maybe get some of your guys' opinion on. But, pretty entertaining issue. I'm enjoying it so far. I finally read the first 3 issues. And lots of stuff going on here. In case you were wondering, Batman travels to Germany to get this Batmobile with Lucius Fox. Lucius Fox. Lots of action sequences in here. Batman getting shot by people, high-speed car chases, all that standard fare. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, Arkham Knight, it's going to be coming out, I think, June 23rd. And I guess recently it was revealed that Arkham Knight, which is published by Warner Brothers, is going to have a $40 season pass for the DLC associated with this game. So $40 DLC. That's essentially, if you want every piece of the video game that is going to be associated with this game, it's essentially like a $100 game. Usually DLC passes, I think, are usually around, what, 20 bucks? But this one's 40. Now, I guess you're going to be getting, like, a Batgirl. You can play for the first time as Batgirl. And I guess they're going to have, like, 4 or 5 missions where you can play as Batgirl. And then they're going to have a whole bunch of different, like, character skins, challenge maps. You know, kind of like the standard stuff that you're going to have with a DLC. I think if you pre-order it, too, they actually have a Harley Quinn DLC pack. And actually some Harley Quinn DLC missions. But $40? $40 for a DLC pass? That's so much. That's like $20 less than what the actual game's going to cost. And like I said, essentially $100 for the complete package. That's crazy. That reminded me of like in the 80s, or early 90s actually, when the Neo Geo came out. And the cartridges for the Neo Geo, believe it or not, way back then were like $200. I think the system itself was like $500 or $600, and then it was like $200 for each game, which is absolutely crazy. And I can't imagine paying that much for DLC. So I originally was intending to get this game at launch, and now I'm, you know, revising my stance on that, and I think that I'm just going to wait. I'm going to hold out. I think I'm going to hold out basically for Game of the Year edition, where most likely you're going to get everything, the whole package at a reduced price. They'll usually release Game of the Year edition like a year later, sometimes a little bit longer, but they're usually released at like a budget price, sometimes of like $40. You know, like they've done that before with other games in the Batman series. I think they did it with the first Batman. I can't remember. Was it Arkham Asylum, I think? I believe Arkham Asylum was the first one, and they did that. And also, like, the Fallout series does that, too. So I just think I'm going to wait, you know. I'm just glad that I don't buy video games the way I buy comics, you know, where I have to get the comics on release day. Because if I bought video games on launch day, I would be broke. You know, $60 a pop, where I am in New York State. Add in the tax, it's $65 a pop, people. And then you have to pay for all the extra DLC. You know, I have such mixed feelings about how the game industry is. You know, there's some great things about the game industry now, too. I mean, because there's so many games and because there's so much choice, that now you can kind of go on Xbox Live or, you know, the PlayStation Network, and they have sales of video games, and now you can get, you know, games that are, you know, pretty old, you know, like 2 or 3 year old games, but you can get them for like $5, you know, like full, even AAA titles. I think they just had like Gears of War on sale for a little while, I think for like $5. That's actually almost a 10-year-old game, but it's a great game. Anyway, nonetheless, there's tons of options, there's tons of variety. If you're even into computer games and PC games, if you go on Steam, it's even better deals. So I think it's kind of like, it's the worst of times and it's the best of times in video games. Best of times, like I said, because you have so much choice and variety and there are great deals out there. But then also the worst of times, where it seems like with these DLC, that this is the new business model now, and it's like they keep jacking and jacking and jacking and jacking up the price of these DLC packages, And the games, the core game, gets shorter and shorter and shorter. I mean, I remember back in the day, you know, it was pretty standard for a game to be like 20-something hours, you know. Now there's a lot of games, you know, where the campaign may only be like 6 to 8 hours. If it's a multiplayer game like Call of Duty, it might be even less. And granted, I know, you know, everybody's like, well, nobody buys Call of Duty for the, you know, the single-player campaign. Well, I mean, I enjoy it. I've always enjoyed the single-player campaigns on that series, and I kind of hate that you keep seeing that just diminishing and diminishing and diminishing, but nonetheless. So, I hate to say it, dudes, but I think I'm going to hold out on getting Arkham Knight. And that was part of the reason why I was buying this comic, was because I was getting all amped up and excited for the video game, and I wanted to have more of the prequel and the backstory, but I just can't do it. I can't do it. $40 is way too much, man. It's way too much. So let me get your thoughts and feelings on it. I know that there's lots of people out here that also, you know, you buy comics and you also play video games. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you're going to be getting Arkham Knight on launch, or is this new $40 season pass price point too much? Now, someone did raise an interesting issue that Arkham City, if you combined all the DLC that Arkham City had, and they were releasing it like piecemeal, you know, like a $7 DLC here, $5 DLC skins here. If you added up all the DLC that was out for Arkham City, it actually added up to $42 or something. So $2 more than this $40 season pass. I don't know, man. I guess maybe because when you know it all at once and they tell you all at once, like, oh, this is all the stuff that's going to be there, it kind of makes it a lot tougher pill to swallow than when they just kind of trickle it out, trickle it out, trickle it out, trickle it out. So I don't know. Total point of perspective there, I guess. So let me know what you're going to do. All right, one of the few Convergent titles that I bought. I've been behaving well, people. I've only bought Convergence Green Lantern and Convergence Green Lantern Corps. That's it. Every other DC character that I love, and you guys know that I have tons of DC comics that I buy, I've sat out, and I've sat out the main Convergence storyline. So, Convergence, Green Lantern, Parallax, I guess Hal Jordan is Parallax, and I guess Kyle Rayner is Green Lantern, and they have to fight someone from the Electric City. I forget what it's called, Electropolis. And it says here, I'm just going to read you the first paragraph of this review. Kyle Rayner makes a deal with Princess Fern to stop Parallax from attacking Electropolis. That's it. That's all I want to tell you. And it kind of has throwback art. You know, it looks bright colored. Kind of looks like comics from like the 90s and the 80s. See Hal Jordan there? Kind of like a brighter look to it. Looks like Hal Jordan's got the classic gray hair. And they do battle, man. I mean, I'm going gray. My hair's starting to look like that on the sideburns. You see that, peeps? So, I'm going to check this out. And, again, I have to read the first Parallax. That's why I don't know what's going on, people. I don't know what's going on. All right. From Image Comics, only one this time around. Birthright, number 7. Joshua Williamson's fantasy baby. Birthright. The journey continues for Mikey and his little brother. More bonding. The new story arc started in issue 6, and it seems to be focusing on the bonding of the brothers. The bonding of the brothers. And also, it seems that the world of Torinos, where Mikey came from, and Earth is starting to merge a bit more. So that's interesting as well. It's a great book. It is a great book. I highly recommend it. If you're a fan of high fantasy, you know, fairies and wizards and stuff, I highly recommend you get it. And I'm enjoying this book immensely. I plan on keeping it until the end. So I highly recommend it, and I suggest that you go out and get it. There he is camping out in the wilderness. So, great, great book. There's Mikey and his brother. And actually, if you don't recall, Mikey, who is the Thor-looking guy, is actually this guy's little brother. He disappeared when he was a kid, went to some other dimension, some other world named Torinos, when he was like 4 or 5 or something. I can't quite recall. And he came back as this hulking brute. So that's a twist, too, isn't it? That's something new. And they're trying to fight and battle beasties, and they're on the run from the law. I won't tell you why, because you got to buy the book. The trade just came out, so go get it, man. Read it. All right, and then finally, from the floppies, I got Abe Sapien number 23. This is a one-shot throwback story. I did read it. It has to do with Hellboy and Abe Sapien paired up again. It's 1992. They're up in British Columbia, and they are investigating the story of Ogopogo. Do you know who Ogopogo is? Did you ever watch The X-Files? Did you ever watch that Leonard Nimoy show? Oh, my God. I think it was called In Search Of. And they featured Ogopogo. I guess he's a First Nations myth. A lake monster, people. It's a Loch Ness monster of the British Columbia world. And Hellboy and Abe Sapien are teamed up. Look at that, man. What a throwback to the days. They're teamed up. They got a job to do. They got to investigate it. They're kind of going into it like it's a job. This is something I got to do. Classic Hellboy style. And it just brought back a lot of good memories of when Hellboy and Abe Sapien actually were together on BPRD. As we know now, Hellboy is in hell, and Abe Sapien is actually separated from BPRD. He's on his own down in the Southwest. That's what the huge story arc was about last time. He's separated from BPRD. So now Abe Sapien actually in present day is kind of like taking the role of Hellboy. You know, he's separated. He's kind of severed his tie from BPRD, and he's out on his own, much like what Hellboy did in the series. So that's very interesting, too. But it was nice to get a throwback here, written by Scott Alley, artwork by Kevin Nolan. I'm not sure who does the coloring. It actually isn't Dave Stewart. Like, one of the few titles that Dave Stewart hasn't done the coloring, which is amazing in my eyes, because it seems like every Mignola book that I've bought seems to have Dave Stewart as the colorist. And actually Kevin Nolan does the colors in here as well. So it's just great to see his face. Isn't it, people? Hellboy. So I highly recommend it. One-shot deal. If you've never bought Abe Sapien before, this might be a good issue to start. It kind of gives you a little bit of the flavor of what it's all about. Entertaining one-shot story. Go get it. Oh my God, my eyes are like watering. Okay, and then finally, I picked up graphic novel, Volume 5, Green Lantern, Test of Wills. This takes place after the devastation of Oa, which was the home planet of the Green Lanterns. It blew up in like the last Volume 4, which I forget what Volume 4 was called. But it's gone, people. And I'm looking forward to this. This was $18. Normally I order these online because I can get them for a discount, but it was kind of like an impulse buy. I didn't realize that it was coming out. This Wednesday, I kind of saw it, and I'm like, you know what? I want to read some more Green Lantern. And this actually collects a ton of issues. It collects Green Lantern 27 through 34, Green Lantern Corps 31 through 33, and Red Lanterns 28. So even though it's $18, it's still a lot of bang for your buck. That's almost what, like over 10 comics. So that's great, man. It's a good deal, man. What a bargain. Makes me wonder why I'm buying single floppies, because this would have cost me like $50 if I would have bought them all in floppy form. It's making me wonder, folks. Let me know what you think. And that's it, people. It's another one of the books. I'm going to try to make sure that I have the next comic book haul, number 36, out on Wednesday. I'll do my best. So thanks for watching this time around, even though it's late. And let me know what you got down below. Oh, and oh yeah, I got to pick the cover of the week. God, it seems like I either forget it or I don't. I'm going to go with the nostalgia Hellboy and Abe Sapien on the front cover. Battle in Ogopogo. All right, peeps. Peace. Have a good day.